6 months later and I'm driving the same dirt road, but the dust don't rise the way it did when you told me love would last longer than a southern summer night. Funny how forever sometimes loses every fight. I passed the diner where you used to hum your songs, and the window blue still keeps our shadows hanging on. I swear the wind still whispers things you used to say, but the echo fades just like your footsteps walked away. I'm not the same girl watching you leave from the porch. I've grown stronger than the storm that you once called torch. Now the fields feel wider and the sky feels mine, and even the heartbreak holds a softer kind of shine. So here's to healing in the quiet of the rain, to losing heavy hearts and finding joy again. If you ever wonder if I still miss your name, 6 months later, I'm finally not the same.
Darling, I've been driving down the back roads thinking how you turned a quiet country boy into somebody proud. Your laugh could light a porch swing on the darkest winter night. Your touch could turn a wrong turn into something feeling right. But life got busy and the world kept calling you, and I just watched the rearview fade like lovers always do. Still I keep your letters in a box beside my bed, reading every promise that we almost lived instead. Darling, if you ever find a moment you feel lost, follow that old gravel road no matter what the cost. You'll find my porch light burning like it did when you were mine. A simple southern hope that love can cross back over time. I got better when I stopped chasing ghosts of who I was. When I traded whiskey letters for a peace I learned to trust. When I quit running from the man inside the mirror frame and started owning up to heartbreak like a last name. Nights got clearer when the bottle didn't win, and the mornings felt less heavy when regret stopped moving in. Funny how forgiveness feels like thunder in the chest. Hits you hard but somehow lays your demons down to rest. Now I laugh a little louder, live a little slower too. Learned a broken heart can still build something strong and new. If you wonder how I've changed from all the damage damage and the pain, I got better. And I'm never going back again. After all the bars are closed and the neon signs go dark, when the jukebox shuts its stories off and leaves an empty spot, that's when I start thinking about the nights we used to make, where love was strong enough to bend but never strong enough to break. I walk the quiet sidewalks where the laughter used to ring, where we danced in parking lots pretending we were kings. But now the world grows silent when the last call fades to dust, and I'm left with just the memories of trying hard to trust. If you ever wonder where I go when the noise is gone, I'm driving through the midnight like a man who's holding on. After all the bars are closed, it's your name I still say, in the echo of a love we almost didn't throw away.
Never thought a love like this could happen to me, like a sunrise bursting through a storm I couldn't see. I was drifting like a boat without a map or any plan, till your voice became the anchor pulling gently to the sand. You laugh like summer wind across a field of open grain, and your kindness heals the places I could never quite explain. I was certain I was better off just walking life alone. Then you took my hand and proved a heart can still find home. So here's to every moment I believed I lost my spark, to every night I thought my worth was swallowed by the dark. Turns out miracles are quiet, soft and meant to be, and somehow love like this has finally happened to me.
He's got the truck, he's got the shine, he's got your hand in his on Friday nights at closing time. But I've got the memories that money can't replace,
The way your eyes lit up when you first saw my face. He takes you dancing under neon at the bar, buys you fancy drinks and talks like he's some movie star. But I remember barefoot nights down by the creek, when all you ever needed was my hand in your bare feet. He'll never have the letters that you wrote at 17, the way you whisper, don't you ever leave this little town with me. He'll never know the story, how you learned to love the rain, or how your heart was terrified of ever loving again. So if he thinks he knows your soul by where you sit and what you wear, he's just skimming across the surface of a love too deep to share. He might be holding you tonight, but honey, truth is that he'll never have the part of you that I still can't give back. How far does a goodbye go when it walks out your door? Is it just across the county line or halfway to the shore? Does it hang around in echoes when the hallways turn in dark? Does it disappear the moment love forgets its spark? I've been driving down the back roads where we used to spend our nights, where your shotgun silhouette lived in the dashing porch light. Every mile marker feels like just another almost there, but I can't outrun the emptiness of you not being here. How far does a goodbye go before it breaks in two? Before my heart stops dragging chains that always lead to you. Towns, but every time I get somewhere, you're still hanging around. Maybe goodbye isn't distance, maybe it's letting go. Taking your pictures off the walls and leaving space to grow. So I'll pull over on this gravel and let the engine fall, and try to find a little room where goodbye can go at all.
Could've chased the lights in Nashville, worn the city on my sleeve, sung my songs for crowds of strangers who would cheer and never leave. But this red dirt under boots keeps calling louder than the stage, and the Texas in my blood won't let me turn another page. I've seen the postcards of the skyline, heard the music in those streets, but nothing beats a Sunday morning with my dog asleep at my feet. Mama's got the coffee brewing, Daddy's humming old George Jones, and every mile away from here just feels a little wrong. So I'm choosing this horizon where the wind cuts through the plains, where thunderstorms and sunsets share the same wide open veins. You can keep your crowded highways, your high rises, your excess. I'm choosing pastures, porch swings. I'm choosing Texas. If I ever make it big, they'll ask me why I never stayed in some neon-coated kingdom, money, glitter, and parade. I'll say the only crown I need is this old beat-up cowboy hat, and the only stage that matters is the tailgate where we sat.
I've been waiting on a song to sing that feels like coming home. Something soft as Daddy's prayers and Mama's whispered, you're not alone. I've chased courses in circles, tried on a heartbreak like a dress, but all I really want is truth, not just another clever mess.
So I'm sitting in this kitchen with a coffee going cold, writing lines about forgiveness, about getting brave and old,
about the girl who left the country, found the country in her bones, about the boy who never said I'm sorry till he lived alone. Maybe someone needs a song about surviving their own mind, about choosing not to quit when life is anything but kind. I don't need a chart to tell me when the words land where they should. If it finds one lonely heart out there, that's already good. So I'll keep strumming till my fingers hurt, voice is almost gone. I'll turn all my broken chapters into one long healing song. And if someday the world falls quiet and forgets this melody, I'll still be proud I found a song that first set me free. Got a little country house on the edge of town, paint peeling off and the porch swing down. Roof still leaks in a hard spring rain, but the love inside it never complains. There's a tire swing hanging from a crooked old tree, dog in the yard and a rusted mailbox leaning on a beam. Neighbors wave when the sun goes low. We trade tomatoes for stories we know. It ain't much, but it's ours, four walls and a dream. A second-hand table and a hand-me-down screen where the bills stack high, but the hooks stack higher and the world can burn outside our wire. Someday we might fix the siding at a room out back, paint the shutters, mend the fence, get this roof on track. But even if it all falls down like ashes in the rain, this little country house is where I'd build it all again. They say the world's on fire when you turn on the news. Another headline, another heart bruised. Folks screaming louder than the truth can speak, and everybody tired by the end of the week.
So I turned off the TV, stepped onto the porch, watched fireflies flicker like God's little torch. The stars up above didn't seem in a rush, just hanging there quiet in the velvet hush.
Shoulder, a meal at the door.
How are you really?
Instead of I'm fine once more. I can't fix the whole world with this old guitar, but I can sing softer where the wild things are. There may be one broken spirit will feel a little less tired if I light a song of hope in a world on fire. this town, where the swing squeaks slow and the sun goes down. We used to meet there after school, let out, share secrets on the slide, whisper dreams and doubts. We carved our names in that old oak tree, said someday we'll leave, just you and me. But life got busy, roads got long, and promises faded like a half-played song. Now I drive past that park just to see if it's real. Still smell fresh cut grass, still remember how it feels. Two kids on the bench, one heart between, believing this playground could build every dream. Maybe growing up is just learning how to say goodbye to the places you swore you'd never stray. But as long as that swing holds our laughter's faint spark, part of me will always live in that park.
Somewhere over Laredo, where the desert meets the sky, there's a stretch of dusty highway where you left me high and dry. The sun was sinking low behind a lonely motel sign, and the last thing that you said to me was, baby, we'll be fine. But fine don't look like waking up to an empty passenger seat, or counting border crossings just to numb the slow defeat. I chased your shadow through the canyons and the bars, till I realized I'd lost myself a mile behind your car. Somewhere over Laredo, I found out who I am. Not just a girl who waited on some half-hearted man. I followed all my heartbreak to a sky so big and wide, and felt the kind of freedom you can't fit in someone's ride. Now the wind sings through the sagebrush while I lean against the hood, and for the first time in a long time, it feels good. Somewhere over Laredo, I left the ghost of you and drove into a life where my heart could start brand new.
I'm one number away from hearing your voice, from wrecking my pride with a half-drunk choice. staring at the digits on this cracked phone screen, wondering if you're missing what we used to mean. I type your name and then delete it again, wrestling with the urge just to let you back in. The radio is playing all our favorite songs, and every single line says we both were wrong. I'm one number away from saying I was weak, from letting all this silence finally speak. But maybe you've moved on to better days, and I just pull you back into our old maze. So I'll put this phone down on the kitchen chair, let the ring of what we were hang in the air. If it's meant to be, someday we'll both just know. Ooh, till then I'm one number away from letting go.
When it rolls, it don't just drizzle around here. It comes down hard with the weight of every fear. Lost my job on Monday, truck broke down on Thursday night. By Friday I was wondering if I'd ever get it right. Then you showed up with a six-pack and a grin. Said if the storm's already here, might as well let joy blow in. You turned my kitchen into some kind of roadside bar, danced barefoot on the linoleum beneath the moon and stars. Yeah, when it rains it pours, but sometimes that's okay. It washes off the dust of all the things that couldn't stay. If the roof starts leaking, we'll just move the couch inside and let the thunder be the world's most honest lullaby. Life don't scare me like it used to do, 'cause I've seen rock bottom and I was holding you. If the clouds roll in, I'll just open the door when it rains and you're beside me. Let it pour.
You were the fall I never saw coming, like a late September storm out of the blue. One minute I was standing steady on my own, next minute I was on my knees over you. I swore I never let my guard back down, built my heart like some old fortress out of town. But you just smiled and walked right through the gate, turned my fear into a chance I'd hesitate to take. And when it all came crashing, like the leaves off of the trees, you left me in a forest made of quiet quiet memories. It hurt like hell to watch you turn and disappear, but somehow losing you taught me what matters when you're here. Now when the seasons change and skies begin to rust, I think of you and how you shook my fragile trust. Yeah, you were the fall that broke me, and the fall that made me stand. A chapter I still carry like red dust in my hand. Stagwood leaning by the fence all week, old pallets, dry oak, flame ready and bleak. Neighbors probably think I've lost my mind, but I'm building us a place where worries unwind. String lights hanging crooked from the old oak tree, cooler full of ice waiting for you and me. Guitar leaning lazy by the cracked back wall, crickets warming up for their midnight call. You step out the door in my flannel shirt, bare legs brushing dirt, perfume of earth, 2 beers in your hand, smile soft and wild, fire already burning in the eyes of that child. You tease me gently, don't burn down the yard. I promise nothing, loving you too hard. One match struck and the whole night woke, shadows waving sweet in the rising smoke. Friends show up with stories and trust, but it's your laughter that always reconstructs. You slip into my jacket, swallow me whole, stealing breath right out of my soul. Night grows deeper, crowd thins out, just embers glowing, no noise, no doubt. You lie in the grass with your head on my chest, whisper, this is church, no steeple but blessed. Later you say, if we ever get rich and roam, promise we'll still build fires like this at home. I swear by the moon, by the smoke, by your eyes, this backyard is heaven, no need for disguise. Bonfire blazing through the ghosts of the past, you and the flames in a spell meant to last. Years from now when our hair turns gray, kids grown up and miles away, we'll still build fires in the same old yard, catching sparks like wishes in the dark. Backyard bonfire, story rising like smoke, every ember a promise, every laugh a stroke. If my last breath comes on a night like this, let it fall to a bonfire and your smoke soft kiss. Clock on the wall says it's been a day and a half. Boss breathing fire, trying to steal my last laugh. Steel-toe boots dragging dust across the floor. But everything changes when you walk through that door. You sit at the bar like it's always been your throne. Order something simple in a world overblown. Your smile cracks open the night like a spark, finding me heavy, lifting the dark. You say long week, and your eyes already know. I nod once slow, your laugh starts to glow. You talk like sunlight in the quietest room, warm enough to chase away any creeping doom. Cold beer in my hand, warm heart on my sleeve. You steady my spirit like you'd never leave. You don't fix my troubles, you sit with the weight. And suddenly the weight don't feel so great. We talk about nothing, but it means everything. Your broken past, my wandering strings. You say love is worth it, even when it hurts. I see truth in your eyes that the whole world deserts. Bar stools turn empty, neon signs fade, but we're still here rewriting the mess we've made. You say I should go, but you trace your cup's rim, and something inside me begins to brim. Rising slow like a soft country tune, your smile brighter than a late July moon. Cold beer, warm heart, the magic you start turns a worn out cowboy into brand new art. If the world falls apart and the lights go dim, your voice is the hymn that steadies the limb. When the jukebox dies and the last chairs flip, your laugh is the treasure I'll always grip. Cold beer in my hand, but the truth from the start is you were the warm part waking my heart. The sunrise bleeds like fire across the hood of my old Chevy truck. Dust on the windshield, coffee steaming, trying to wake me up. Your lipstick on the thermos from the sip you stole. Bare feet on the dashboard, saying drive, I'll pay the toll. You laugh like the world was ours and nothing could fall apart. My hands on the wheel, but you were holding my heart. That dirt road knew our secrets, our promises, our fights.
and how you caught fireflies in your hands on warm July nights. You drew hearts in the dust on the old review, said promise forever, not just passing through. And every mile we rolled, my doubts fell behind like stones dropping off a runaway mine. Dirt road and strong coffee, that's my favorite prayer. You in my passenger seat when tangled in your hair. I don't need riches or city lights calling me, just that sunrise glow and a thermos full of dreams. Years passed on, but the road stayed the same. We traded that old truck for a shared last name. Now there's a car seat rattling in the back of the cab, little boots on the floor, tiny hands grabbing my hat. You're tired some mornings, hair tied up in a knot, whispering I'm not the girl that you first got. But I see the same fire every time you look my way, the same wild heart I fell for that very first day. So I pour you dark coffee in the cup you love. You smile through the worry as the sun rises above. The world keeps changing, but one thing stays true. My day doesn't start until I look at you. Dirt road and strong coffee, same old recipe. You teaching me what love was always meant to be. Precursors of life, bridges and worn out refrains, but you turn every moment into something that remains. We load up the truck when the burden gets hard, follow that red clay ribbon past the edge of our yard, where the world slows down and the noise disappears, and your quiet little smile wipes away my fears. Dirt road and strong coffee, baby, we'll be fine, as long as your laugh still rhymes with mine. When my days run out and my last breath leaves me, let it find me with dirt on my boots and you beside me.
I pulled that bottle from the shelf like it was calling out my name. Every drop inside it knowing every corner of my pain. This old bar's been a witness to the way I break into, and whiskey's been the only friend that ever tells the truth. Left a scar on this old heart no medicine can mend, and now I'm staring at forever like a stranger I can't defend. People say time heals all wounds, but they weren't cut like mine. Some nights a man pours out his soul just to keep himself alive. Whiskey don't lie, it tells me what I'm scared to face, that losing you is killing me a little more every place. Whiskey don't lie, it burns but keeps me standing tall. If truth is what I'm drowning for, then whiskey knows it all. I've said goodbye 100 times, but never made it stick. I've prayed for strength I didn't have, the bottle answered quick. I wear your memory like a jacket that I can't take off my spine. Every step I take is haunted by the ghost you left behind. Whiskey don't lie, it tells me all the things you want. It hits me where I hide my fear. It says move on, but I don't. Whiskey don't lie, it's the mirror I've been running from, and every truth that pours in me reminds me love ain't done. Someday I might break these chains, walk out into the dawn, but tonight this bar is church, and I can't move along. Lord, give me just a moment where the past don't feel so close, 'cause loving you was holy, but losing you, God, it hurts the most. Whiskey don't lie, it tells me all the things you want. It hits me where I hide my fear. It says move on, but I don't. Whiskey don't lie, it's the mirror I've been running from, and every truth